Great cast, good action, funny as hell. Outdated? Irrelevant? Last night, my buddies were looking for a good old action comedy movie to watch, so my first thought went to Big Trouble in Little China, 1986, directed by John Carpenter. John Revolver Ocelot Carpenter. We'll make a video out of you soon enough. So, before I put on the movie, I remembered that some of the guys might be appalled by the fact that it's an old movie, so I decided to give them something more modern, something fresh, brand new. So last night, my buddies and I rewatched Rush Hour 1, 1998, directed by Brett Ratner, who took the... Wait a minute! 1998 minus 1986 equals 12, so, and 2022 minus 1998, good? 24 years, oh my! Rush Hour graced us with another kick-ass addition to the cop buddy genre. Yes, I took this out straight from Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. We'll make a video out of you soon enough. It wasn't until later on with Taxi, Taxi 2, Hot Fuzz, The Other Guys, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, and The Nice Guys that we got some new kick-ass additions to the cop buddy genre. I just love the buddy comedy genre, and Rush Hour is one of the best. End of story. It introduced us to Chris Tucker and gave Jackie Chan a much-needed exposure in the West. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker would later go on to make two somewhat competent sequels that did well financially, and also Jackie co-starred next to Owen Wilson in Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights, which are good buddy comedies of their own. But this one started it all. Rush Hour tells the story of a Chinese diplomat's daughter who gets kidnapped in Los Angeles. He then calls in Hong Kong Detective Inspector Lee to assist the FBI with the case. But the FBI doesn't need Lee's help apparently, and they dump him off on the LAPD, who assign a wisecracking detective James Carter to babysit him. Although Lee and Carter can't stand each other, they choose to work together to solve the case on their own when they figure out they've been ditched by both the FBI and the police. Safe to say that Jackie is a fish out of water, and what follows is a series of a humorous, action-packed set piece after set piece that culminates in a kick-ass showdown typical of Jackie Chan movies that leaves us wanting more. Both Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker chew the scenery with their effortless charisma, and whoever says they only show the stereotypical side of their respective origins can go get fucked. Sure, some of the humor might be dated.
Do you speak any English?
What's up, man? What did you just say?
I'm Blackanese.
I'm no punk bitch.
I ain't no punk bitch neither.
I'm no
I'll
punk
come back there and
bitch.
knock that head off.
But in a tightly scripted movie with some great stunt work by Jackie and laugh out loud moments by Chris Tucker, why the fuck would I care? Tucker is loud, obnoxious, sleazy, but he never gets on your nerve. Except in The Fifth Element.
Just like it.
And has a good character arc and knows when to show restraint. His mix of funny dialogue and bodily gestures work wonders for the film, and Jackie's fish out of water scenario serves its purpose to expose them to some funny moments, and we see Jackie in action kicking ass, which is always a treat to watch. Fuck me, man. Why did this genre die? Why this type of humor is considered dated? Why can't the director Brett Ratner find any more work? Oh, and something else I noticed in Rush Hour that's worth mentioning, and that there's, and this might shock you, actual good organic use of representation in the movie. You see, Chris Tucker is African American. Jackie is from Hong Kong, and later on they team up with Elizabeth Peña's character who has Latino origins, and all of them face off the villain played by, spoiler alert, Tom Wilkinson, who is British. Phew, I'm super glad British villains did not become a typecast. Yet, it never felt forced, contrived, or preachy, thank God. Yet, you still have people who call this film culturally insensitive. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Fuck off, cancel culture. You can go fuck yourself in the ass with a cactus. I'll watch whatever the fuck I want, bitches, except for Twilight. I will never, ever, ever watch Twilight.
2-disc limited edition. What the fuck is on the second disc?
A video of the cast and crew apologizing for making this crap.
You see, the movie has a lot of racist moments and jokes.
What's up?
And so for some, it might be considered outdated or irrelevant, but it is the product of its time. And when you watch these kinds of old movies, just for the love of God, turn off your SJW filter and just enjoy the ride for what it is. So, in conclusion, Rush Hour is still a solid action comedy, and I highly recommend it to anyone that just wants to sit down with some buddies, pop a few beers, and enjoy the show. In Memoriam this week brings you the career of Chris Tucker. May it rest in peace. Chris Tucker is an American comedian and actor. Tucker made his debut as a stand-up performer on the HBO comedy series Def Comedy Jam, frequently appearing on the show throughout the 90s. Tucker appeared in the films Friday, The Fifth Element, Money Talks, and Jackie Brown, and later gained fame for playing Detective James Carter in the Rush Hour series. Chris Tucker was a well-known alienologist who was abducted by aliens from the movie scene in early 2008, reappearing as a former shell of himself in Silver Linings Playbook, next to Bradley Cooper and S-Face, and in Ang Lee's 2016 flop, which I cannot for the life of me remember the name. Hopefully, one day he will resurface to team up with Jackie Chan and do Rush Hour 4, 2 miles away from the retirement home. This was The Rocks, keeping it extra cheesy.